Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic, and on today's episode I am now going to be giving a review, a retro review of the movie Once. This is a film that came out in 2007 and it's special for several different reasons. Not only did me and my wife just recently watch this together, it was the first time that she had actually seen the movie even though she had fallen in love with the score years ago, but also it's really important, I feel, to talk about this film in today's landscape. With everything that's going on with movies, everything that's going on at the box office these days, it's important for us to know that a good movie can exist even without having a gigantic budget. And no film, I feel, better explains that than the movie Once. I mean, some people might argue saying, oh, Blair Witch Project or Paranormal Activity that were made for nothing and made a lot of money, but this one's a little bit different because this one has a little bit more credibility to it, and I'm going to get to that in a second. So first, Once tells the story of a man and a woman, and that's pretty much all that they are known as. They're known as a guy and a girl. They're not given actual character names, and so what you find out is the guy is someone who had a lost love, so he spends his time on the street playing music, trying to make money. The girl is from the Czech Republic, so she is an immigrant from the Czech Republic, and so she spends her days selling flowers, doing other menial tasks, cleaning, things like that, to try and make some money as well. So both of these people have this sense of loss. Because the other thing with the Czech girl is that she also has a daughter, and her husband is not with her. Her husband is back in another country, and they are not on good terms with each other. And so you have these two people who are really lost in life because they have these desires, they have these drives, but the thing that they have in common with each other is a love of music. And so you have the guy who has a tremendous love for the guitar, he writes his own music, really beautiful, and then the girl, she has a very strong passion for playing the piano as well. And so what you end up having is both of these people, both of these characters interacting with each other, and it really is in a way almost a tragic love story because you can tell that these two obviously have a lot of chemistry with each other, but they also have a lot of baggage as well. They also still have a very strong connection to the people that they once had in their lives, and you see that come out through the film, and so you really see the chemistry between them. But not just that, but also the friendship that develops between the two because they're able to connect with each other on such an intimate level. And not just by falling in love with each other, but also by having that same kind of background of a lost love, that concept of a lost love. So this film is just fantastic for so many different reasons, but the best part of this film is without any doubt the score. The music of this film, it's all original music from these two. Just to give you a bit of the background, so the two stars are Glenn Hansard and Markita Irglova. I probably butchered those names, but these two actually were a duo. They actually had a relationship with each other as well, and they had a musical duo where they wrote all of this music together, and it was so good that even though this film, which was made for $150,000, so just think about the films that we have today, the low budget films are usually made for at least a couple million. This film was made only for $150,000, and it ended up making, by the end of its run, according to Box Office Mojo, over $20 million. So this movie made a crap ton of money in comparison to the amount that it actually cost. It made a huge profit on such a small investment, and also it got nominated for an Oscar and won the Oscar for Best Original Song. So this movie is different than those others I mentioned before because of the fact that even though the editing is not that strong, even though the cinematography is at times cringeworthy to the point of it just being uncomfortable, even though it's not shot very well because it's shot on very low budget equipment. Even though all of these things are the case, the relationship between the two on camera is so believable. The chemistry between the two is so real that you don't care about anything else. The story that they build around these two characters is so compelling that you don't care about any of these other things. And what it shows us is that you can make a movie, you can tell a story for such a small amount of money and still be able to make not only money, but also make a great film on top of that. And I feel like this is a really important lesson because oftentimes movies, they just try and throw as much money as they can through CGI, through hiring big name actors. This is a film that had people who no one had ever heard of before. This had people who, again, no one really knew them in the industry either when it came to the cinematographer, when it came to the director. Again, all of these people who had really no other experience, maybe other, minor project experience, and yet even with all of those things, they were still able to make a great and solid film with a brilliant and beautiful score. If you've never seen this film, I highly recommend it. Again, this came out in 2007. It was filmed in 2006 because obviously at a smaller film, it took a while for it to get distributed, but once it did, people fell in love with it so much, not because it was technically the best film that they had ever seen, but because it was a good story with good music. And I hope that this can be an inspiration. Hope that people can look back at this film and say, we don't need huge, big budget films that are just going to fail and are just going to be garbage, when you know that you can have a film that only cost $150,000 to make and yet was better than so many other films that we have that come out in theaters that can sometimes make millions of dollars but cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make. And so I just wanted to get this review out there. Has anyone else ever seen Once? Is it one of your favorite films? Please let me know. I personally give this film a solid A. Again, even though it does not have the best camera work, even though the editing is not great, even though, again, it's very bare bones. It is a low-budget film, so just be ready for that when you go in. But just know also that very likely you are going to soon forget and ignore all of those things because you're going to be so captivated by the story, by the chemistry of the two characters on screen, and of course, by the brilliant music as well. The very end, when they're actually recording a CD in a studio and you hear these songs played out live, because that's another great thing about this film, is that all of the music that's sung is sung live on camera. It's not recorded and put in the film after. They sing it live in front of the camera, and it is just so beautiful, and it's just so well done, and it's so raw as well. And so if you've seen this, let me know in the comments below. If you like this film, let me know that as well. If you disagree with me, if you think I'm totally off base, if you think this movie's total garbage, let me know that as well. But if you like this video, please like it, give me a subscribe, and please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Again, this has been Odin's Movie Blog. Have a great day, and as always, God bless.